Three AI giants shipped three flagship models in 30 days, and today the last one finally went public. Anthropic wants $10 per million tokens for Fable 5. OpenAI wants 5 for GPT 5.6. Musk wants 2 for Grok 4.5, and every single one of them claims to be the best. So I pulled the benchmarks, the pricing sheets, and the launch receipts, and here is the honest headline. Each model really does win somewhere, just not where the marketing says. By the end of this video, you will know exactly which crown each one wears and which one deserves your money. And near the end, there is a $6 model quietly matching the $50 one on a benchmark nobody expected. Stick around for that chart. Here is the whole video in one line. 3 flagships, 3 crowns, and nobody wins everywhere. Let me prove all 3 parts. GPT 5.6 is the strange one of the 3 because its launch is a first in AI history. OpenAI finished these models in late June, and instead of shipping them, they handed them to the White House. 12 days of government review under the new AI cybersecurity order, and only today did all 3 go public in ChatGPT, the API, and Codex. And yes, all 3 because this is not one model, it is a ladder. Sol is the flagship built for hard reasoning and agents. Terra matches the old GPT 5.5 at roughly half the cost, and Luna is the budget rocket at $1 per million tokens. There is even a version of Sol hosted on Cerebras chips that streams 750 tokens a second for select customers, which is the fastest frontier serving anyone has shown. Sol's party trick is called Ultra Mode, and watch what it does on screen. Hand it a hard problem, and it does not just think longer. It spins up its own subagents, splits the work between them, and merges the results back with a verification pass. That is how it posted 91.9% on Terminal Bench, the highest agentic terminal score ever recorded, and even base Sol at 88.8 beats everything Anthropic and xAI ship today. So OpenAI owns a real crown here. Terminal work, automation, operations. Hold that crown though, because 2 tables from now, the story completely flips. Crown 1, the terminal. And look how clean this sweep is. Sol Ultra at 91.9, base Sol at 88.8, and then Daylight before Fable 5 and Grok 4.5 show up in a photo finish at the bottom, 83.4 against 83.3. Even Terra, the mid-tier model, edges both of the rival flagships here. If your work lives in a shell in scripts and ops automation, OpenAI just took that crown outright, and honestly, nobody else is close today. Crown 2 belongs to Grok, and it is really 2 crowns welded together, speed and the feed. Grok 4.5 streams about 86 tokens a second, answers in seconds where Fable can take minutes at full effort and cost $2 per million input tokens against 10 for Fable. And it is still the only frontier model wired straight into X. Live trends, live sentiment, news that broke an hour ago, while Claude and GPT only know the world up to their training cutoff. So here is my question for the comments. Which crown would you actually pay for? The terminal, the repo, or the feed? Tell me below, because the answer says a lot about what you build. And Crown 3 flips the whole story. Real code-based work on SWE-bench Pro, the benchmark built from real GitHub issues. Fable 5 posts 80.3%, while Grok sits at 64.7%, and on FrontierCode Diamond, the hardest coding eval in public existence, if Fable scores 29.3 against 5.7 for GPT 5.5, that is a 5 times gap on the problems that actually hurt. Add a million tokens of context, double anyone else on this screen, and the pattern is obvious. The terminal belongs to Sol, but the repo, the actual software, still belongs to Anthropic, and it is not close either. Now, the money, and look at this ladder, because this is the real strategy story of July. Luna at $1, Grok at $2, Terra at $2.50, Sol at $5, and Fable all alone at the top at $10 in and $50 out. OpenAI's actual weapon, This generation is not Sol, it is the ladder itself. One family covering every price point from budget to flagship, while Anthropic bets everything on one premium model and Musk undercuts the entire market with a single cheap flagship. Three completely different bets, and your build depends entirely on which one matches your workload. And here is the chart I promised you at the start, the one OpenAI's marketing will never lead with. On Terminal Bench, Terra and Luna both score 84.3, which is above Fable 5 at 83.4, and Luna does it at $6 per million output tokens against 50 for Fable. Read that again. On this benchmark, a $6 model just matched the $50 flagship. Now, Fable still crushes these small models the moment the work moves into a real repository. So this is one chart, not the whole war, but it proves the thesis. Every model on this screen is the best choice for someone, and the flagship badge tells you almost nothing about your bill. So burn this rule in: Fable for the repo, Sol for the terminal, Grok for the feed, and Luna for the bill. So here is the verdict table, the 10-second answer. If you write serious code or run agents on real repositories, Fable 5 is still the king and worth every dollar, and it also takes the hardest problems, period. If your work lives in the terminal, in scripts and operations, get Sol. That crown is real. Terra is the sane default for production traffic. Luna is the budget pick that embarrasses models 10 times its price, and Grok 4.5 remains the speed king with the only live feed in the game. The routing mindset wins again. Nobody wins everywhere. So stop buying a logo and start matching each task to its crown. Now, if you want the full two-way war between Fable 5 and Grok 4.5, the 47 task showdown where the benchmarks completely fell apart, that deep dive is right here. Subscribe, and I will see you in the next one.